right. Hi, my name is Kimberly Carraway, and I am the Director of Ministries with the Belize Project. And I'd love to tell you the story of what we have walked through over the past several years and how MDI has come on board and where we were and where we are now. So, the Belize Project is a ministry that works with Belizeans and helps to empower them in various ministries that they feel called to serve in. So we were faced with a situation where our founder was having to step away because his wife was in the process of battling cancer, and he just knew that he had to pull away. And our ministry had been set up in a way where he was running the majority of it. We had a board at that time that was primarily serving as an advisory board. And as he was making that decision to pull away, we were also faced with a situation that several board members were having to roll off for various reasons. And so that reduced it down to one board member and our founder, Mac, who was in the process of leaving. And so as we elicited MDI's help, they were called on to help us decide, do we continue this ministry and how do we do that? Because there was a lot of disorder in the way everything was running, and or do we just close it down and just kind of close down the different ministries, or just empower the Belizeans to take it and move forward at that point in time? And so to give you a little bit more of a picture about that season, during that time we added on 2 additional board members, and then have over the years added that to where we have 6 or 7 currently now. And at that time we had our ministries. The Belize Project is a project that is made up of a bunch of different ministries, and so our founder had a lot of vision and a lot of relationships in Belize, and so there were projects that were happening all over the country. And I worked in education, and other people worked in micro enterprise. Some worked in rehab and restore ministries, and there wasn't a lot of communication between the various ministries. So we didn't actually even at that time know what all the ministries were and what was going on. So we didn't have a very good communication system at all. In terms of our board was pretty much an advisory board that met a couple of times a year, but they did not get reporting. There wasn't any knowledge of the process or progress that was being made in the different ministries. We also had a situation where we didn't have anybody really in a role of leadership. So while we had a board and we had a chairman of the board, it was mainly as an advisory role. So we didn't have any directors. Nobody was an executive director or director of ministries. And so it was just very messy. And at that time, we also were going down on mission trips. So we have different people who were passionate about different parts of our ministry, and they were continuing to take trips, but the accounting was a mess. Just the reporting of those trips was a mess. And looking back, we caused probably a lot of harm and to our Belizean friends as well. So while we were partnering with them, we had situations where we were doing things that we just felt led to, let's go and jump in and do this. And there wasn't a lot of approval. There wasn't a process. We didn't have policies and procedures. Although the Lord was moving and he was doing mighty things. And so he had, there was a lot of fervor that the Lord gave individuals, and people were very passionate in Belize and in the U.S. to keep this ministry going. And so we also face a lot of drama and politics with the Belizean side of things. So we have a Belizean board, and we have a NGO in Belize called the Belize Project. And so we had established years ago an official nonprofit organization in Belize, and so we had to face a lot of just drama over the years of just figuring out how their culture works and the politics that we need to operate in, and one person would know something, but the other person wouldn't know it, and so a lot of time was wasted in just trying to figure out the systems of communication. So we had a lot of silos, I would say. So we had a lot of people operating in silos, and we had a kind of umbrella ministry that oversaw things, but it was pretty chaotic and a mess, and we had really rested a lot on our founder because he was the one who was leading the charge, and when he immediately had to step back, the Lord had to intervene and really help us.